Clint Eastwood is a Hollywood superstar, actor, director, producer, and also a politician. He's a prolific public figure, and people are still fascinated by his life. In a career spanning 60 years, Clint Eastwood has proved himself an extraordinary cultural icon of masculinity. Even at the age of 91, he is still acting in top American dramas, directing and producing. Eastwood's hard graft creativity has evolved through time and made him a fine artist. He seems like a man who has seen and done it all. But as a high-profile celebrity, Eastwood has had his fair share of controversies, and his life is full of interesting facts and events. In today's video, we're going to share 10 things you didn't know about Clint Eastwood. Make sure you watch till the end. Number 10. Eastwood's first credited role was in Revenge of the Creature. Clint Eastwood's greatest performances are all gritty, gunslinging anti-heroes, but he had to start somewhere. Eastwood appeared in a brief role in Revenge of the Creature, the unacknowledged sequel to the monster horror classic Creature from the Black Lagoon in 1955. Eastwood was cast as Jennings, a well-spoken lab worker who believes his experiment has failed miserably after losing one of his test rats. A number of supporting parts followed his breakthrough performance as boisterous Yates on the Western series Rawhide in 1958. This enabled him to appear in A Fistful of Dollars, which launched his career. This was a watershed moment in the history of the Western genre in film. Number 9. Eastwood ran for mayor and was elected. Eastwood has a lifelong passion for politics. He entered that field successfully in 1986 when he was elected mayor of Carmel, a tiny town in California. Carmel is situated in Monterey County and is known for its rich creative past. Eastwood refers to Carmel as his adopted homeland. Eastwood's campaign's most contentious issue was repealing the famed ice cream cone rule, which prohibited the selling of ice cream cones in fast food. Eastwood ended up successfully serving as mayor of Carmel for 1 year, but he maintained his filmmaking career in the meantime by directing and producing Heartbreak Ridge and Bird. While Eastwood received opposition for repealing the ice cream cone legislation, he also defended small business interests. He also built an expansion to the municipal library, seaside pathways, and public facilities. Number 8. Eastwood is an incredible musician. While we are all aware that Eastwood is a brilliant actor and director, a deeper examination of his film credits reveals that he has played the piano, sang, and created music for several films. Eastwood composed music for a variety of films, including Mystic River, $1 Million Baby, Flags of Our Fathers, Grace is Gone, Changeling, and Hereafter. He also penned and performed the Gran Torino credits theme. Clearly, Eastwood is a guy of many abilities, most notably a lifelong love for music. He was a huge fan of jazz, country, and Western music. Perhaps he did not get widespread fame in this profession, but he still is an excellent musician. Even so, he instilled a love of music in one of his kids, Kyle Eastwood, who has now established himself as a prominent jazz bassist and composer. Number 7. Clint Eastwood walked away from an aircraft crash. Clint Eastwood is known for portraying the hardest characters in front of the camera, which has established him as the pinnacle of manliness in films. But he has also shown this in his actual life, prior to becoming a Hollywood celebrity. Eastwood served in the U.S. Army as a lifeguard and swimming instructor during the Korean War in 1951. Coincidentally, when aboard a Douglas AD bomber as a passenger, the jet ran out of fuel and crashed into the water near Point Reyes, California. Eastwood and the pilot, surprisingly, escaped the sinking plane and then swam an incredible 3 kilometers to safety. This near-death experience profoundly altered Eastwood's personality. He subsequently discovered that it was a white shark breeding area and said, "I'm happy I didn't know that at the time, because I would have perished." This miraculous survival tale is not well known, yet it helps to further elevate Eastwood's cool factor. Number 6. He rejected the opportunity to portray some of the most famous figures of all time. Eastwood seemed to have been the ideal choice for heroic characters, such as James Bond or Superman. Early in his career, he was offered the option to perform in both tuxedos and spandex, but he declined both. Following Sean Connery's departure from the Bond series, the studio reportedly grew anxious for Eastwood to fill the void. Clint, on the other hand, rejected the opportunity, believing that the role of James Bond should be performed by a British actor. Eastwood also rejected the part of Superman because he thought it was not a good fit for him. When asked why he declined the part of Superman, he said, "I've always had a soft spot for characters that are more anchored in reality. Perhaps they do superhuman or superhuman feats, such as Dirty Harry, who has a reputation for doing insane things, or the Western men, but they are not caped crusaders." If you're loving this video, then make sure to subscribe and leave a comment saying, "I subscribed," and we will personally reply to your comment. Number 5. He is the father of 7 children by 5 different women. Clint Eastwood is the father of 7 children by 5 different women. In 1964, he and actress Roxanne Tunis had a daughter called Kimber. The couple then had their second child, Kyle, in 1968. He and his then-wife Maggie welcomed their daughter Allison in 1972. In 1984, Eastwood and Maggie divorced. Then Eastwood began dating a flight attendant called Jacqueline Reeves, with whom he had 2 children, Scott and Catherine. Frances Fisher, the actress, gave birth to his 4th daughter, Francesca, in 1993. Following that, Eastwood married Dina Ruiz, a news anchor, in 1996. Morgan, his 7th child, was born a year later. In 2014, Eastwood and Dina split due to irreconcilable reasons. Later, Eastwood was connected to photographer Erica Tomlinson Fisher, who was 41 years his junior, until he revealed his relationship with Christina Sandera, a restaurant hostess, at the 2015 Academy Awards. Number 4. Eastwood was sacked due to the fact that he has a huge Adam's apple. At times, the film business can be quite tough on individuals attempting to get into it. Eastwood learned this lesson the hard way. Due to his sculpted good looks, he was urged to seek a film career. He struck gold when he was able to get a deal with Universal Studios within a few months. He obtained a few uncredited gigs, including the one described earlier, but was quickly sacked, apparently for having an excessively noticeable Adam's apple. Eastwood was also chastised for squinting and muttering his way through lines, a style that would become his signature. Eastwood then made a living excavating swimming pools in Hollywood Hill. He eventually scored a major break with Rawhide. When Eastwood was cast, he resembled a cowboy, which helped him subsequently become the Western genre's poster boy. Number 3. He climbed the Eiger entirely on his own. The Eiger Sanction, directed by Eastwood, is based on a true story that occurred during production. David Knowles, 26 of the United Kingdom, died on the Eiger, while climbing instructor Mike Hoover had a shattered pelvis and extensive bruises in the same incident. Eastwood pondered canceling the project, but was convinced to continue by the climbers, who did not want Knowles' death to go in vain. Eastwood was adamant about not asking a stunt double to endanger their lives, preferring to do all of his own climbs and stunts. The International School of Mountaineering's director opposed this, since he was aware of the hazards associated with climbing what has been termed the death wall. Eastwood dangled from a rope 4,000 feet in the air in the film's most iconic moment and cut himself free and was rescued. Number 2. Eastwood has saved lives. Eastwood is credited for saving more than 2 lives. In the scene from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, when a bridge was blown up, Eastwood warned co-star Eli Wallach to flee to a hilltop immediately, saying that he should remain as far away from the explosives as possible. This proved to be life-saving advice, since the bridge was irreversibly destroyed, owing to a linguistic miscommunication. Thus, if Wallach had not been fleeing already, he would have perished. Eastwood also saved the life of golf event director Steve John in 2014, many years later. Eastwood observed John choking on a bit of food during a competition and responded promptly. He performed the Heimlich technique, which happily resulted in John's survival. Number 1. Eastwood is a proponent of gun control. As we all know, Eastwood and firearms go hand in hand in movies, yet he is a proponent of gun restrictions in real life. Why would anyone need or want an assault weapon? He once asked. Although the majority of his early films were violent and featured an abundance of firearms, Eastwood has also made a point of infusing his films with anti-violence and anti-gun sentiments. This was particularly evident in 1992's multiple Academy Award-winning picture, Unforgiven. On the surface, the picture was a traditional Western, but it was also a brutal analysis of the consequences of violence and a determination to de-romanticizing weapons and gun violence. Additionally, Eastwood has been a non-smoker his whole life and is highly health-conscious, despite what he portrays on TV. And if you found this video useful, then you'll love these. And be sure to like this video to let the YouTube algorithm know you'd like to see more videos like this one.